I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Are you a young man listening to this video or a young person listening to this video? Let me just give you a tip of some of the things I will share on the 1st of May. I saw my father work as a refuse collector. I saw my father humiliated because of 22 naira. And when I see Julius Malema, I admire that man so much. When I see Julius Malema talk with anger, so a white supremacist during apartheid entered my room. My mother was naked. That thing pains that young man. And today I heard that he built a church in memory of his mother. I saw my father humiliated because of 22 naira school fees that I couldn't pay. Somebody insulted him. My father had one blind eye. I saw him shed tears. And I said, never again, never again, never again. No descendant of mine will ever be humiliated. Never again. Never. From my wife to my last born, you don't try it. You don't humiliate us. You don't intimidate us. To my granddaughter, you don't intimidate us. You don't. You don't. In fact, when I was young, if they beat you outside, you don't cry home. If you cry home, my mother will beat you. Say, go back home. Go back there. Beat somebody's child and let me apologize. That's the way I grew up. And so, when I saw the humiliation, the pain, the poverty, the disdain, father collecting refuse from people's, come to the refuse dump in front of my primary school and carry refuse. I was absorbing it. It was creating a lion in me. Thank God for my parents. Thank God for my elder brother. They ensured that I went to good schools. I ensured that I went to good schools, made good grades, went to the best medical school, gained skills, excelled wherever I practiced. Because I never wanted any reason for my children to be intimidated. I couldn't go overseas when my mates were going. I had aged parents, one with spinal cord injury, one with stroke that I needed to cater for. But I made a vow that in this country, I will maximize this country such that no person will intimidate me from any part of the world. It's an intentional decision, an intentional choice. I see young Nigerians living in this country. They are not maximizing the wealth. They are complaining about government. They are complaining about this. They are complaining about lack of electricity. The government is not encouraging any person. It is true. We had more social justice. But there are opportunities you also have that we didn't have. With just a camera, you can train yourself. With your phone, you can do a lot of things. We didn't have that. So, I also made sure that I sent my children to the best schools. I must have told you when I went to do a master's in public administration, after 30 years of being a medical doctor, that's 10 years back, I made the best grades I was the best graduating student. I also told my mates that I was not going to be a specialist medical doctor, but I will never have a receipt, even though I was reading people's books. I will never have a carryover, so that you won't think that I did not become a professor because I am dull. This thing, you build it inside. You intentionally build it inside, from inside outward. I made sure my children schooled very well. At one time, my son was in one of the best universities in Eastern Europe. That university, as at that time, was 186 years old. I sent my last child to another university that was 102 years old in 2015. My second son made an average of 8.33 over 10. His younger brother made 8.13 over 10. And my eldest son, who is an orthopedic surgeon, when people see him in the hospital, they ask him, how did you get to this level so early? I intentionally inculcated these values in my children. Somebody came from the Ministry of Education to one of my schools and met my daughter. My wife and my daughter were there, and was trying to intimidate my wife. My wife is a nurse midwife, but my daughter studied education. She told he said, Mommy, leave her. By the time my daughter finished, the woman embraced her and said, please, I want to tap some anointing from you. There was a parent that came, wanted to intimidate my daughter. My daughter handled the issue. Bam! The man called my wife, said, I didn't sleep well this night. Said I was reflecting. He was reflecting whether he had a child that could represent him the way my daughter represented me. My community called me to come and speak to them, handle a subject matter. But I was going to Abuja, and I sent my daughter to go and speak to my community. My daughter finished speaking. One man sent me a message. He said, because of what I saw your daughter do, all my children must become graduates. You intentionally do it. You do it. You intentionally build a family. Let me quickly say this to you. I'm building the Polytechnic. I'm not going to look for a rector if I don't want to. I have somebody with a PhD, an engineer. I have somebody with a master's degree in management. I have somebody who is an educationist. The hospital I want to open, the project I want to do, then I can say, I am happy that I lived as a Nigerian, is to build a specialist hospital. I will have an orthopedic surgeon. I will have a cardiologist, and maybe another medical personnel from my family, and myself as the director. Just oga pata. I might not practice. My wife is a nurse, midwife. You intentionally marry, you intentionally raise children. You can choose otherwise. I'm not recommending it to you. I'm just telling you my story. You don't marry anyhow. So, when you have labored, paid the dues, and intentionally laid a foundation, you don't allow yourself to be messed up. I wrote here, I came from a family with issues of cash restraint. And you have a crowd standing in front of you and the connected in front of you, getting all the attention. You see, you must place a demand on yourself. You must place a demand on yourself. Don't complain. Place a demand on yourself. I remember when I used to stand and be hitting myself like this to read, to be able to graduate as a medical doctor. And when you have crossed the Rubicon, never ever be shortchanged by life. Give life your best, but demand the best out of life. It is a two-way traffic. I'm still talking about unstoppable people. Somebody said that I'm bringing out too many videos. Boy, it's my life. I'm 65. Life is short. I need to tell my story. My grandchildren need to watch these videos. The generations yet unborn need these principles, particularly those of us of this color. Particularly those of us who come from poor backgrounds like mine. Particularly those of us who are minorities in this country. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Poki. Send a message to me on +234 70 5213 6763 to join my WhatsApp mentorship group, to register for the online seminar that is coming up on the 1st of May by 7 p.m. When you send a message to +234 70 5213 6763, I will send you the flyer to enable you register. And I have properties for sale. Let me tell you about properties. My father never bought 10 feet by 10 feet. And I told myself, what my father didn't buy, what my elder brothers didn't buy, what my mother didn't buy, I will buy. So I have large expanse of land that I bought. I started buying in my late 20s. And I've been buying till date and selling till date. Life is intentional. It's good to start well, end well, by the grace of God. God bless you.